Hello everyone, my name is Art Russell. Welcome to my channel. If there could only be one of my videos that catches your attention, I'm hoping that this will be the one. Why? Because it contains information that points to the nature of our being, which I'm suggesting is consciousness itself. Why is this so important? Because when we realize that which we truly are, suffering decreases and our joy increases. So let's begin. This video is inspired by The Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot. I won't be reading a quote from it today, but I'd like to make a point that relates to its content. Many or most of you are aware that when a hologram is cut into smaller and smaller portions or segments, that the images that were within the whole remain in the smaller sections, even though they may be distorted somewhat. And I'd like to connect this point to consciousness, which I'm stating is indivisible and irreducible. I'm also equating consciousness with God. And in support of this, I'd like to share a quote about God that I first discovered several years ago. Here it is. God is a sphere whose center is everywhere and whose circumference is nowhere. In other words, wherever you are or I am, God or consciousness is in entirety. I'd next like to offer a passage from one of my favorite books entitled I Am That, Talks with Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. He lived in Bombay, India, and he awakened to his true nature at the age of 37. Here's the quote. We do not wake up into a really waking state. In the waking state, the world emerges due to ignorance and takes one into a waking dream state. Both sleep and waking are misnomers. We are only dreaming. True waking and true sleeping, only the Jnani knows. We dream that we are awake. We dream that we are asleep. The three states are only varieties of the dream state. Treating everything as a dream liberates. As long as you give reality to dreams, you are their slave. So in other words, as long as you believe that you are the body-mind person, you are enslaved by that perspective. I'd also like to point out that a Jnani means a knower of truth. The next information comes in the form of two quotes from this book entitled Open Secret by Wei Wu Wei. Now that was the pen name for a man named Terence Gray. He was a philosopher, obviously an author, and a theatrical producer. And in his later years, he wrote about Taoism, Zen, and non-duality. Here's the first quote. Our dreamed selves, autonomous in appearance, as in life, can be seen in awakened retrospect to be puppets totally devoid of volitional possibilities of their own. Nor is the dream in any degree dependent on them, except as elements therein. They who seem to think that they are living and acting autonomously are being dreamed in their totality. They are being activated as completely and absolutely as puppets are activated by their puppeteer. Such is our apparent life on this apparent earth, in this apparent universe. And the second, we only exist as one another's objects, and as such, only in the consciousness that cognizes us. For our experience of one another is only an act of cognition in mind, and in no way asserts the experiential existence of the object cognized. So what he's stating is that all apparently material objects and persons are actually appearances within mind. The next quote comes from a book entitled A Happy Pocket Full of Money by David Cameron Gikondi. He's a coach, obviously an author, and was the creative consultant on the movie entitled The Secret. The world is an illusion, as we will see much more clearly as we move on. See it as an illusion. Believe it to be an illusion designed to help you know and experience yourself, and that's uppercase self. Once you do so, you will always remember to create the next version of the illusion that you wish to have. You literally create the next version of the world by painting your mind's images with certainty. The world does not have to be as it is. It simply is because we all agree it is. Now, I'd like to make a point about illusion. And by that, he just means that the world isn't as we conceive it to be. Our lives are real experiences within consciousness. And the next information comes from the Gospel of Thomas, which contains 114 sayings that are attributed directly to Jesus. The Gospel of Thomas was found in the desert near a village called Nag Hammadi in Egypt in 1945. Here's saying 50. Jesus said, "If they say to you, 'Where do you come from?' say to them, 'We have come from the light,' the place where the light came into being by itself and established itself and became manifest through their image. If they say to you, 'Who are you?' say, 'We are the children of the light, the chosen ones of the living Father.' If they ask you, 'What is the sign of your Father in you?' say to them, It is movement and rest. Now, I'd like to make a few points about this. In this saying, light, which is capitalized, and the Father refer to consciousness or God. But because there's a gender bias to the term Father, which was common in those times, I'd like to suggest that you could replace Father with Source or Universe. And I'd also like to suggest that movement and rest suggest frequency, as in flashing in and out of apparent existence. And I'd like you to contemplate this, if you will. When you have a dream at night, in the dream state, do the characters and events seem as real can be? But when you merge again with the waking state reality, would it be accurate to state that all of the apparent persons within the dream were children of the light? That's what I'm suggesting for this. Everything that occurs within our waking state reality. I believe that we can apply that template of understanding, as I refer to it, to our everyday experiences. We're standing on holy ground right here and right now. If you've enjoyed this video or found it helpful or useful, I invite you to share, subscribe, and like. More information is available through my free articles at thinktwice.me and also through my book entitled This Taste of Flesh and Bones, available from Amazon. Thank you very much for listening. I look forward to seeing all of you again soon. Bye for now.